Hello, folks. It's 8:02 a.m. on Thursday, the 16th of April, 2020. Bright sunny day here in Chicago. This is episode number 1735. Derivatives trading is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Quick mic check. Can you all hear me? Okay, thank you. Sorry about the delay. There's about a 15-second delay here. Something is odd about my headset this morning. In any case, this morning we have a market that is basically trading sideways, mixed message, a slight lean to the risk side. The S&Ps are trading above their close yesterday. Oil took a little bit of a pop, up 42 cents, trading at 20.29, back above the $20. Got it. It's the wrong headset. Okay, that's what I wanted to hear. Thank you. Give me a second. Here we go. All right, now it's fixed. Sorry, my Bluetooth headset just disconnected itself. Apologize for that. It was picking up my camera instead. So the S&Ps are higher. Crude oil took a pop higher. It's up 2.32% above the $20 mark. The DAX is leading the pack as far as the global indices. Euro stocks follows the DAX up 1.2%. The Euro stocks up 1.05%. The Nasdaq up 1%. Gold taking a little bit of a push higher, up $13.40, and the S&P is up 16 points. We have an internal gap today. The laggards are the Bund, the Euro, the Pound, and the Japanese Yen. The dollar is under $100 right now. So anyway, there's always some technical issue. The goal here as traders is not to give up, right? To keep pushing through and following the program, and that's what I do every time. So apologize for these issues. But you know, this isn't I'm not in the office. I'm at home every day, and it's not the same rig. Anyway, let's take a look at what's on the calendar this morning. This morning we had, of course, the big release was initial claims. Initial claims came in higher than forecast. Again, forecast is 4.72 million versus 5.245 million. Continuing claims, I think, are somewhere in the close to 12 million. They expected 15 million unemployed as a result. This was, released by several people about a month ago. We're getting pretty close to that. Philly Fed came in really poor. The Philly Fed Manufacturing Index came in at negative 56.6, expecting negative 29. And it's just again, the numbers, we're going to see a lot of really abysmal numbers from on a weekly basis, economic numbers, but we're also in earnings season, and we're likely to see that as well. Tonight at 10 p.m. we get 10 p.m. Eastern, we get China's GDP growth expected at negative 6.2%. The previous is plus 6%. So we're looking at a negative 12%, we're looking at a 12% swing down in China's GDP, and that's where we stand in terms of what's ahead on the calendar. Let's take a look at what was expected yesterday. Yesterday, the primary expectation is a push to 2780. Oops. The primary expectation is a push to 2780, which is right here. This is the MC point of control for this profile, which encompasses everything from the 9th till the 14th. And you can see the MC point of control listed right here. It says POC. And I was looking for 2780 and then a rotation down, a likely chop in the 2754 area right here on the overnight low, and then a potential release with a main target being that 34. That plan was right on, except that we could not continue lower. So if we look at yesterday, we can look at it on the tick chart because there wasn't all that much activity. But if we look at yesterday, we pushed to 2781.75, so we pushed through that 2780 area. We hit the 80 early on, right down here, and then we impulsed down. This is exactly what was expected. Of course, it's not about predicting the future, it's about being prepared for that eventuality. It's about being prepared for when that happens. So we get this impulse down from the 2780 area. If you're not on the impulse, which I'm often not, and I don't care, I don't really care to be, because I could tell you that I sold up here and I bought back here. Oh, and by the way, I bought down here and I sold up here and it flipped, and I'm always in a trade and I'm always catching the top and the low. It's total and utter BS that's happened. If somebody is able to do that, that is pure luck, and randomness and luck are a huge part of trading. It's something we accept as professional traders, and we stick to the plan. With a plan, luck tends to work out a little bit better. Without a plan, luck tends to pay out a few ticks because we can't hang on. So we create these scenarios so that when we see an impulse like this, what's the next move? It's too bad the YouTube live stream and Periscope have this delay, but I would love to quiz you guys during the Trader Bite. If we have an impulse down, what's the play here? I will answer that question. The play here is to look for the mid, or to use order flow to find a way to find an indication of weakness from the buy side after an impulse. Look for mid and then trade for the low that was put in, which was right here. So this is the low right here. So that would be a nice little swing from the about 72. We're not going to catch the top. 72, 71, 50 down to 60, 50, and then look for the continuation. So the runner, most of your risk, the 3-lot micro plan that I put out there, you can get it at edgeclear.com. That 3-lot micro plan takes the risk off at the last low and then looks to hold a runner for the bigger play. The bigger play, really, as I told you yesterday, 2750 is likely to be a problem, and then 2734.50 was the big target yesterday, which it did not get. It found buyers before that, and we end up being able to catch this additional impulse. We see an additional impulse, so again, as long as it doesn't violate the mid, we're looking for another leg down, and it did. It poked through the IB low. right here, and then it started testing that mid, which gave another opportunity, new mid, new opportunity, and then from there on out we get a higher low, and that's when I threw up the caution shorts flag in the head trader channel on Convergent Trading, and then the market rotates and goes neutral on the day and then extends that. This is an impulse right here, extends it out, but never gets to the prior day's low. So we still have the remains of a gap up here. Um, the remains of a gap up here, and we end up finishing in the middle. So this is a neutral normal day. What this is an indication of is that the market really was initiative at first. In other words, it's a gap and go situation, and we pushed and pushed and pushed. 2750 held. 2750 held, and then it tested the other side, and then 2792.75 held, the 90 area held, and it ended up closing sideways. So this is what is an undecided market, but the catch here, the catch in all this is that it's not expiration week, it's not rollover week, it's none of that. So the delta is valid, and as the market is sitting there here selling, we have a buyer stepping in here. We have buyers stepping in here and lifting the offer, causing the volume delta, the actual tick volume delta. This is really accurate data that I'm using here from IQ Feed. The volume delta to be positive throughout the session. Look at this volume delta just skyrocketing. The next leg up is likely to be higher, and that's what we have today. We're back at 2792.50. And so we are likely to challenge the 2800 century figure and start pushing towards 2815, 2820 from here is the most likely play. So we have a neutral normal day on a positive delta, barring news. The expectation is for the market to start floating up, squeezing upwards on what is clearly a discovery profile. Let me turn this off to just. You can see that this is a discovery, a price discovery profile. Well, there's no consensus on price. How do we know there is consensus? The volume profile is likely to show from top to bottom. If there was consensus, we would see that the market is agreeing on some sort of price in the middle, and that's what's called a normal distribution. What we have today is what's called a bimodal distribution, but not really. It's a price being tested at every level. So this is causing the drift up, in my opinion. So that played out beautifully. The auction is pretty healthy and has completed its discovery process very well yesterday. The overnight session opens up from the middle. This is the day session here. We open up right, we closed right on top of the point of control. And yesterday, of course, the point of control, VWAP, and mid are all in the same spot, telling us that there's a little bit of balance there. And then we drop off, we test below that 2750 area, and again, Europe comes in showing us how it's done, and that's the big bar right here, and they lift off right away, and we've been holding steady with the point of control in the upper distribution, and this is a truly bimodal or double distribution profile here with the point of control near the top, causing us to see that, hey, there's a lot of energy up here in the upper distribution as long as it holds the low volume node, this low volume node here, which is yesterday's close. As long as it holds at 74 area, it is likely to continue. It is likely to continue higher, and then if it does continue higher, guess where we're likely to test? The next high volume node right up here from the prior overnight session, which is, but we're going to be in the day session, so we got to look at the day session levels, and that gives us the 2820 area right in here, right? 2820, 2837 is a naked point of control, and so on and so forth. That's how things are shaping up. I want to take a quick moment here to, because I launched a brokerage here 2 weeks ago with a group of just fantastic brokers, an award-winning team. I wanted to put this in front of you I've pushed for the micros since 2012. I met with the CME in April 2012 to tell them that we need a product that is 1/10 the size of the indices. I saw a lot of problems with people trading the ES for $400 or $500 margins, and I wanted to have the exchange build something that is friendly to the online trader, especially those with a smaller account or those who are looking to not jump into a Formula One car and speed around the track and get smushed into the concrete barrier, but more of a go-kart range so we can learn about the dynamics of driving. That's just an analogy. That was completely ignored, and then 2 years ago they got a hold of me. About 2 years ago, they got a hold of me and said, "Look, this is coming," and I worked with them to release the product, to offer whatever I could to release the product, and the product was released in May of 2019. This is a very strong and important development for online traders. This helps us de-lever. Essentially, by trading the micros, you get 10 times the value of your account versus the mini because it's 1/10 the size. Unfortunately, they're not able, they have not been responsive, despite the petition and several phone calls and emails, have not been responsive about the micro crude, which is the next thing I'd like to see happen, micro crude, the micro 10 years, and micro bonds, and so on and so forth, so that we have more and more products that are online trader friendly. But EdgeClear is a brokerage that I launched 2 weeks ago. As I said, with a great team. I'd like you to consider joining. This rate here really is bare bones. I doubt you'll find it anywhere else with strings attached. Without strings attached, this rate is all in, includes Rhythmic, the top trading platform. I believe right now the top trading feed right now is included in that price, subject to Rhythmic's monthly minimums and things like that. But please head over to edgeclear.com. There's a chat box there. You can talk to the brokers or shoot us a message. There's also commission pools, group rates. If you're in a group, a Skype group or whatever, you can pool all your volume together to get better rates. That's something that is unique to EdgeClear. There's a whole bunch of unique stuff there. I'll stop plugging the business, but this is an important venture for me. It's another piece, in addition to convergenttrading.com, that intends to help traders have a better chance at learning to trade, assuming that they're using, the proper risk controls. So I'll leave it at that. Please take a moment to check that out. I'd appreciate your support. Okay, so let's take a look at what is expected for today. So we are right at that overnight point of control, right in the gap zone. I'm expecting a choppy open here, open auction. I'm looking for it to pull back a little bit, but I'm looking for a push up as soon as the sellers show that they have no interest down low, and this could push as far down as 27.74. As long as it holds at 27.74 here, then we are likely to push into Tuesday's range, and in that case, 28.06 and then 28.20 are likely in play. That gives us about 40 points of range. That's what I'm looking for on scenario one. I'm looking for a continuation. And that's what I'm looking for. This is an open auction. The secondary scenario, I'm looking for it to float up immediately, push into the overnight high, squeeze into that 28.20 area, consolidate, hold steady, and then come back to the gap zone and hold steady here to just fill in this area. Remember, we're trading against this profile right here, okay? And so that's where we stand on both scenarios. We're opening right in between two ranges. Both ranges are somewhat balanced. We're opening right on top of the high volume node right here. And so I'm expecting this kind of a choppy trade. The third scenario is to push to the high, not find buyers to accommodate the Tuesday range, and then to turn down and push lower. So that scenario even though we don't have a gap here this morning. That scenario looks something like push above, then impulse down, move into 27.74, lose the 27.74 and work its way down to 27.60, and then consolidate somewhere in yesterday's range. Okay, so here's where we stand. That's where we stand for the session. Hopefully you've gained something here today. Again, if you have questions about EdgeClear, feel free to go online and check that out. Ask whatever questions you have. Just so you know, full disclosure, this EdgeClear is fully owned by me. There are no other parties. It makes things a lot easier. It makes things a lot better for the employees, to be honest with you. So this is something I'm fully invested in and hope to see work. Again, edgeclear.com. Thanks for your support. Cheers.